To think it has almost been 20 years since the last entry in the Metroid Prime series is just crazy. I mean, there was Federation Force, but I think that one is better just left forgotten. It has been a long time coming, and Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is finally here, and it looks and plays like any good old Metroid Prime game. If you know the series, you'll know how iconic these games have been in the past. They trade up fast-paced FPS action for slower, immersive gameplay that revolves around deep exploration, lore, puzzle solving, and of course gradual upgrades. The same can be said for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, that while it has included some new mechanics like an open world-like approach, it still feels as nostalgic as ever. Gunplay is heavy and tactile, exploration is incredibly fun and rewarding, and the ever-growing sense of character improvement is likely the best we've seen in the series yet. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond kicks off as Samus flies into an ongoing battle between Silex's space pirates and the Federation. Silex is still at it after years of fighting against the Galactic Federation. The game kicks off on the planet Tanamar, where the latest invasion has happened. However, this time around, a strange artifact is thrown into the mix which gets damaged amid the conflict and sends a shockwave across the planet. Samus gets teleported somewhere else, and the player is then left to fend for themselves as they need to discover exactly where they are, why they have appeared in this strange new location, and of course escape. Naturally, Silex has been teleported too, so it becomes the perfect opportunity to try and put an end to his naughtiness once and for all. I don't want to spoil anything about the story in Metroid Prime 4 Beyond because witnessing it yourself is half the fun of the game. Samus essentially meets a race called the Lamorn who want nothing but to escape the planet. To do so, they need 5 teleporter keys which are conveniently scattered around 5 biomes in the area. Samus gets tasked to find these keys. Well, she really doesn't say yes because she doesn't say anything, but we just gather that she agrees to help. The first half or so of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is quite linear, as I was forced to go to a said location to complete an objective. However, the game does indeed open up a bit more after obtaining Samus's bike, Viola. The annoying companion that you meet at the start of the game does mention how I was able to go anywhere and choose which keys I wanted to track down in whichever order I wanted, but actually that isn't the case. While the game literally expresses the sense of freedom and tells you to go wherever you want, these keys are still obtainable in only one order. That's because the biomes are locked behind some sort of new gear upgrade that prevents you from entering them. For example, Flare Pool and Active Volcano greeted me with lava pools that I could not cross without an ice upgrade. So I had to visit the ice belt to get this upgrade anyway. All of this resulted in a lot of back and forth between going to one biome, finding out I couldn't do anything there, and then going to another. So no, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond isn't really open world, and there actually is very little freedom here despite how the game has been marketed. But even with this running around, I didn't really mind exploring the game only to be met with a dead end. Getting around is quick thanks to the cool looking motorcycle, and once I figured out the correct order of getting these keys, each biome delivered the tried and tested Metroid gameplay that I loved every moment of. Except for all the scanning, but I'll complain about that in a bit. Objectives in these areas usually revolve around the same thing. Get to location A, turn on the power so that you can get to location B, and do something else, so that you can get further, defeat a boss, and get a key. There are some gear upgrades along the way, aliens to blast away, puzzles which aren't really puzzles but more obstacles that require using your gear to complete them, and of course things to scan. Of course, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond relies on a lot of backtracking, so I was forced to take mental notes of certain locked areas that required certain elemental ammo and new gear upgrades to get access to. Not only are these mechanics locked by Samus's lack of gear, but even Viola's lack of ability locks certain aspects of the game out until you find certain upgrades and install them. This is what it is, I guess. Completionists will love this, but if you're not into this sort of experience, it might annoy you. I did enjoy it, beyond the roadblocks that I hit when I was told to go anywhere but actually couldn't go anywhere. The exploration is fun, and there's always something to kill, and always some gear upgrade that you can't get that you have to remember to go back for. But Metroid Prime 4 Beyond's general gameplay is as iconic as past games. Combat is still about shooting stuff while using the locked-on system, or you can just free fire if that's your sort of thing. I played the game with the Pro Controller and it was great. I also used the Joy-Con 2s to aim with my right arm, and it was just as fun and nostalgic as the Nintendo Wii days. I also used the mouse functionality and it was okay. It isn't my go-to method to play the game, to be honest, because having a flat surface nearby while playing on the couch was often a pain to set up, and If you're playing on the couch, you can't really use your lap, even though it works, it's a bit cumbersome at times. But mouse movements work for what they offer, even if I feel like the Joy-Con 2s are just a bit too small and lopsided for my big hands. They do turn Metroid Prime 4 Beyond into a classic first-person shooter, and it is fun to use this method while the novelty is there. Samus is also equipped with her usual abilities. She can double jump, shoot rockets, find and change her bullet element to ice, shock and fire, and turn into a ball to get around. However, a big new feature in Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is her psychic abilities. These abilities see her being able to do all sorts of cool things. She can fire a slow-moving shot that slows down time and can be controlled in the air. She can form platforms around certain areas to jump to, and she can also move switches, platforms and dials with her mind. Even the ball form gets the ability to travel between space and time itself. All of these upgrades combine together to create a satisfying gameplay loop that works quite well. Granted, the majority of the game is locked to the player until they have certain gear, but once you obtain these upgrades, using them to complete later dungeons and side areas is incredibly fun. These abilities are also tied into boss fights too, which elevate the experience. These fights are enjoyable, take a while to get through, and really heighten the game's combat, which often feels a bit dumbed down across other areas of the game. Keep in mind that Metroid isn't really an action game, so you don't really spend much time blowing things up here. The series is known for its slower paced gameplay with a deep sense of exploration, and this new game follows tradition quite nicely. Even if you can race around on a motorbike, these parts don't feel like a drastic move away from what we enjoy from the series. If anything, Viola is a fantastic addition and has been cleverly implemented into not only the exploration, but also the game's puzzles and gear system. But given that Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is a slow game already, it often feels snail-paced at times and it can be a bit painful, and that's only because of the game's scanning mechanic. Throughout the game, I got a deep dive into the Lamorne race, where they came from, why they want to leave, and how they played a role in the planet's formation and technology. In natural Metroid Prime style, this is all done by scanning literally everything around you. No joke here, you spend hours upon hours scanning everything. Just when I thought I had scanned it all, I then entered a new biome and had to scan everything there too, even if it was just the same looking container I had found in the previous area. This time, the log would tell me how this container was used to store different objects used in this location. It's literally the same object, just a different container in a different area. I get the need for lore and learning the world around you, but Metroid Prime 4 Beyond pushes the scanning mechanic so hard down your throat that I actually got really tired of it after dozens of hours into the game. I was looking for ways to maybe even increase the scanning speed just to get these mindless scans done faster. I swear I even started hearing the scanning noise in my sleep. And while I know this has been a feature in the past games too, I hated it even more in this game. It just kind of feels dated and if anything tedious. After scanning 300 switches just so you can interact with the damn switch after scanning it, I couldn't help but feel like anyone with half a brain would know what a switch looks like and how to interact with it. Why do I always have to scan it before I can access the damn switch? Not to mention that if you want to 100% completion rate the game, you need to scan every single little object and item that is available to scan. So I spend most of my time in scan mode looking for green highlighted objects to scan. Every room I entered, I opened the scan mode. Every enemy that appeared, I entered the scan mode. I feel like it only degrades the experience in my opinion, especially when the game is so gorgeous and I spent 80% of my game time with this horrible scan filter slapped over the screen. Not to mention it directly works against the game's already frustrating pacing, which as mentioned before, offers very little freedom.
Betsy? What are you doing here?
Yes, I did hate the scanning, but I did enjoy Metroid Prime 4 for what it is. There's something great about these games, and you know one when you're playing one. I got lost in the world for many evenings as I explored this strange planet that delivers an excellent sense of isolation. Discovering the race's past and how they lived and thrived on this planet was some of the best storytelling we've seen in the series yet. Granted, there are some story beats that just feel out of place, like the NPC that sticks around like a fly buzzing around you throughout the game.
If you're unsure where to go, then always explore the unsurveyed areas. Have you checked out the volcano? Looks like you found some Lamorne technology.
It is hard to ignore the annoying radio chatter from the guy that keeps reminding you where to go and reminding you that you can call him if you get lost, especially when you already know where you're going.
Alright, look at that! We got power! Well, one door is still locked, the other one is malfunctioning. Hey, but it's progress.
Seriously, who thought that adding this NPC in the game was going to be a good idea? While Metroid Prime 4 Beyond isn't perfect, it is a good old Metroid Prime game, and at least we finally got a new one. Samus's new psychic abilities are fun to use, and it is the best looking game in the series, and I think we'll be talking about this one for a long time, or hopefully just at least remember it. So those are my thoughts on Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Are you looking to pick this game up? Let me know in the comments down below. Huge thanks to Nintendo for sending a code my way to review, and while you're here, please consider subscribing for future content like this. Until next time, farewell.